What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, to all my black people out there, I want to let you know that I know the summertime is the time that a lot of you like to go out to a lot of these summer festivals or concerts or what have you, and I want to let you know to all be on the lookout and keep your eyes open because there are people out here who definitely want to do you harm. Now, I know that popular media and a lot of these goofies on social media will make you think that the only danger that is coming for you at these black events is other black people. They highly publicize the shooting, as they called it, the Juneteenth shooting in Texas, right? But there are other people out there that are plotting against you and they are planning to do serious damage out here. One of them recently got caught, and the man's name is Mark Adams Prieto. And Prieto is one of these white supremacists who basically he read the Turner Diaries, obviously, based on his rhetoric, and thinks that blacks and Jews are going to just take over the country, and basically a white man won't even be able to go out there and buy his guns anymore. The white man will be subjected to all types of torment from blacks and Jews, and he has to do something about that. And so his idea was to go ahead and kick off the race war by committing a mass shooting at a black concert. He specifically wanted to go to this rap concert in Atlanta, which was headlined by Bad Bunny, who I guess is this Puerto Rican rapper slash singer, whatever. I don't listen to that trash, but you probably know who he is more than I do, right? I know he's supposed to be popular, but this Mark Adams Prieto was going to go to this concert with some other folks and commit a mass shooting. And specifically, he wanted to make sure that the black people there that are being murdered, that the survivors knew that this was a racial shooting. He wanted them to understand that this was white people killing them and that this was a race war. And he wanted black people to have some sort of retaliatory action afterwards, right? Because like I said, that kicks off the whole race war. So this sick bastard wound up getting caught, as idiots are wont to do, because he was going to a lot of these gun shows and spouting off about how he wanted to, commit this act and talking about the plans. So basically, there was an informant that he was in touch with, as well as an undercover agent of the FBI that wound up catching this fool, right? So, and they, like I said, they planned on doing it this summer, but they really wanted to get it done before the next election because they want the race war to kick off before this election between Trump and broken down Joe Biden. So I'm going to play a little bit of the news report about this, and I will read you some things also that don't even make it to this news report because this story has not really caught national attention that much. They might mention it on some of these mainstream media programs, but it's always like a little blurb somewhere, right? There's very few people who have gone in depth about this, and they should, because what this person was planning to do was extremely deadly and extremely heartless, by the way. And I'm going to read to you some of the things he said. So let's listen to the part of the news report here, and as we go along, I'll read certain sections of what he actually said to the informant when they were undercover and recording him. So let's listen here to the news report.
Tonight, federal court records are revealing how the FBI broke up a plot to stop a mass shooting. Back in October, the FBI says it began its investigation into Mark Prieto after a confidential informant who spoke with him more than a dozen times over 3 years at various gun shows said Prieto called for a mass shooting targeting blacks, Jews, and Muslims before the 2024 presidential election. During a January gun show in Phoenix, Prieto tried recruiting that informant and an undercover FBI agent.
Let me rewind that, because this is a very important part of what I want you guys to hear and understand.
For the 2024 presidential election. During a January gun show in Phoenix, Prieto tried recruiting that informant and an undercover FBI agent.
Okay, so right there, a gun show, where this person was meeting and trying to recruit other people for this mass shooting and this racial attack against black people was at these gun shows. So, for all you conservative Negroes who think that it's cool to hang out with your white buddies at these gun shows, just understand what they think it's about, okay? You think it's about camaraderie and hanging out with these MAGA mutants and taking little pictures with them, right? You think it's all good, that you're all just Second Amendment conscious people, Second Amendment conscious Americans at the gun show. These people are plotting to take you out of here, okay? They're plotting and they're buying these guns so that they can eventually go to war with you. And your dumbass is sitting there with them, buying your guns, and they can see what guns you have and know how many guns you have and know exactly how to plan to get you when the time comes, okay? Basically, all they really have to do is just tell you, hey, hey, Jackson, why don't you come outside? We got a surprise for you. And you dumb Negroes will go out there and they'll blow your head straight off, right? You won't even know what's going on, but, you can't tell dumb Negroes anything. So for all you those types of fools and Negroes like Morgan Freeman who think all you got to do is ignore racism and racism will go away, this video is for you. So let's listen to some more of this news report, and I'll read some more as we go on.
According to court records, Prieto wanted to carry the plan out in Georgia because, he says, when he was a kid, that was one of the most conservative states in the country.
Let me read exactly what he said, because the news report is not giving you the full context of what he said about Georgia and why he wanted to shoot up Atlanta specifically. He says, the reason I say Atlanta, why is Georgia is such a fucked up state now. When I was a kid, that was one of the most conservative states in the country. Why is it not now? Because as the crime got worse in LA, St. Louis, and all these other cities, all the niggers moved out of those places and moved to Atlanta. That's why it isn't so great anymore, and they've been there for several years. So any mistake I made in that quote, you can see it here, is mistakes that he made. I'm not making those mistakes and pauses. That's how he talks, okay? And this was recorded from his own voice and messages, okay? So he gave you the reason why he wanted to go shoot up Atlanta, because Georgia used to be a great state, but all the N-words moved there and they messed it up because they all moved to Atlanta because crime was high in these other cities. Not because they were experiencing racism in these other states and the other cities, but because crime was so high, all the black people moved to Atlanta and messed up Georgia altogether. Okay? And they feel that way. A lot of these white supremacists, not just in Georgia, feel that way, but in Florida, feel the same way. They feel like South Florida is messing it up for the rest of the state because the rest of the state is very conservative. Same thing with Michigan, right? Detroit might be more on the lines with liberal Democrats, but really most of that state is conservative, hardcore red state. And it's that way for a lot of the states within the United States. They'll always have like one city or so that's highly densely populated that moves more towards quote unquote blue or Democrat. But the truth of the matter is the rest of the state is highly red. So, that's what he was worried about and why he wanted to make sure that he went to Atlanta to cause this mass shooting, right? And he also says that while committing this mass shooting, you should show no mercy, no quarter. Can't have any feelings. They're not people. They're monsters as far as I'm concerned. That's how he's talking about black people there. Okay? He's saying that black people have no feelings, black people aren't human. So go ahead, go in there and shoot them and don't have any mercy. Doesn't matter if it's women, children, whatever. Right? And this is why I'm extremely careful with the type of things that I say about other black people on this channel. Now, I know a lot of you goofies out there have no qualms about dehumanizing other black people on social media because you think that these white supremacists are going to be able to tell the difference between the ghetto black people and you, right? When you think when the time comes, when these devils go on their killing sprees, somehow they're only going to single out the Keishas and the Ray Rays and the people selling drugs or whatever. They're going to just shoot them. They're not going to shoot you, right? Even though a lot of times, these mass shooters, when they go to commit their acts of devilry, they always do it in places like grocery stores and church. So a lot of you idiots out there who promote the idea or push the idea that there are somehow, different blacks out there that we need to get rid of, just know that you're feeding sick bastards like this. Let's listen to the rest of this news report and see or get some more information on this demon here and his mass shooting idea.
Specifically, Prieto wanted to carry out the attack at a rap concert because he said there would be, quote, a high concentration of African Americans. During a February meetup at a gun show, Prieto began offering details of the plan, including the number of guns to be used. During this meetup, Prieto sold that undercover agent a gun for $2,000 and said he would also like to use grenades during the attack because it can, quote, cause panic. At another gun show in March in Prescott Valley, Prieto provided more specific details. That attack would take place in Atlanta at State Farm Arena on May 14th or 15th. Performing that night was rapper Bad Bunny. During that gun show, Prieto sold an AR-15 rifle to that undercover agent for $1,000 and told them to, quote, bring as many magazines as the gun could carry.
You hear that? You see how they said they have the planning and the meetups for these mass shootings at these gun shows. Okay? As a matter of fact, if you look into the history of a lot of these mass shooters, especially a lot of the ones that are associated with doing mass shootings and race, and have racist intentions, a lot of them got their guns at these gun shows. If they didn't do it themselves, they sent someone else there to get it for them. Even going all the way back to the Columbine shooters, I think they got a friend of theirs to go pick up some guns from a gun show. All right? So you need to be aware of what these people use these gun shows for and what their true intentions are. Once again, a lot of you fools out there think that this all has to do with, left versus right or conservatism versus whatever. Really, it's about them coming to get you. All right? So this devil right here wanted to do as much damage as possible and kill as many black people as possible with his guns. And he was going to sell the guns to other people to help him do this racial attack. All right? He just happened to be this time talking to some undercover agents. Now, here's my thing. They caught him, but in my opinion, I'm sure he was not the only one. All right? This is why I'm telling folks to watch out this summer. This is why I'm telling black people to be careful with who they're dealing with and who they're talking to. Don't just think that it's all good because they caught this one devil. There's tons of them out there. They all have their own little plans. And I guess this fool was just over ambitious in the fact that he wanted to shoot up a concert. But don't think that, this can't happen at any other gathering of black people. I specifically am a vendor at a lot of black conventions during the summertime, so I'm keeping my eyes open for these types of demons. Okay? I don't want to be caught slipping because one of these scumbags decides that they want to kill as many black people as possible. because they don't like the amount of black people here in Tennessee or whatever ridiculous reasoning they come up with. None of the reasons are ever good, but you have to be on the lookout for these demons out here. And if you've seen this story, let me know. I reposted it on my Facebook, but I noticed only a few people saw it and responded. So I want people to be aware of this story and be aware of demons like this that are out there who are looking to do harm to black people, especially when we're very vulnerable at these concerts or any type of celebratory occasion. So anyway, this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back.